The attorney's voice on the phone is confused, almost apologetic. She says the probate documents were never filed and she needs to know why your signature on the beneficiary form doesn't match the one on file. You've never signed any beneficiary form. Your hands start shaking as she reads you the account balances. Dad's savings account that had $42,000 now has $800. The investment account is completely empty. Let's go back 6 months. Dad passed away after a short battle with pneumonia, and in those final weeks, your older brother Marcus took charge of everything. Medical decisions, funeral arrangements, all the paperwork. You were grateful someone was handling it. Marcus said he'd been named executor, which made sense since he lived closer to Dad. He told you the estate was simple, mostly just the house and some savings, and he'd keep you updated every step of the way. Every few weeks, you'd text asking for updates. Marcus always responded quickly with vague reassurances. The lawyer was handling it, probate takes time, these things are complicated. You trusted him completely. Then 3 weeks ago, Marcus mentioned he was taking a vacation to Costa Rica. When you asked if that was wise with the estate unsettled, he laughed and said Dad would have wanted him to enjoy life. Something about his tone felt wrong. You decided to call the estate attorney yourself, just to understand the timeline. That's when you discovered Marcus had never actually hired the attorney Dad had specified in his will. He'd been handling everything alone. The attorney Dad wanted, Linda, agreed to look into the estate filings. That's when the bottom fell out. No probate petition, no accounting, nothing filed with the court. Marcus had been lying about everything. Here's what made you physically sick. When you finally accessed Dad's bank statements through the estate, you found monthly transfers. $5,000 here, $8,000 there, all going to Marcus's personal account. He'd had Dad add him to the accounts a week before he died. You wanted to scream. You wanted to confront him immediately and demand answers. Instead, you did something smarter. You said absolutely nothing. You kept texting him like normal, and he kept lying like it was effortless. With Linda's help, you filed for emergency intervention in probate court. You gathered every bank statement, every forged document Marcus had created, every lie he'd told in writing. The paper trail he'd left was almost insulting in its arrogance. The court ordered Marcus to appear for a hearing. You'll never forget his face when he walked into that courtroom and saw you sitting there with Linda and a stack of evidence 3 inches thick. He tried to explain. Said he'd needed the money for emergencies, that he was going to pay it back, that he thought you didn't care about Dad's money anyway. The judge's expression said everything. The court removed him as executor immediately and opened an investigation into elder financial abuse. Those last-minute account changes happened when Dad was heavily medicated. Marcus had taken advantage of him in his final days. But here's where your patience paid off. Because you'd waited and documented everything instead of confronting him, Marcus had continued stealing for 3 additional months. Every fraudulent transfer after Dad's death was a separate criminal count. Marcus was charged with theft, forgery, and fraudulent estate administration. He hired a lawyer who cost him $30,000, then had to sell his house to begin repaying what he stole. The court ordered full restitution plus penalties. You eventually recovered most of the money, though it took 2 years. Marcus's wife left him during the legal proceedings. Apparently she hadn't known about any of it, and the betrayal broke their marriage. He sent you one letter from his lawyer asking you to drop the charges, saying family should forgive family. You sent back a copy of every lie he'd texted you, with his own words highlighted in yellow. These days, Marcus works 2 jobs to pay off the restitution. You used part of your inheritance to establish a scholarship in Dad's name, something real and good that Marcus could never touch or tarnish. People ask if you regret destroying your relationship with your brother. But the truth is, you didn't destroy anything. Marcus did that himself the moment he chose money over family. You just made sure he faced the consequences. So, here's my question for you. If someone you trusted completely betrayed you when you were most vulnerable, would you have the patience to let them hang themselves with their own rope? Or would you confront them immediately?